crying in front of your narcissist. So if you're new here, I'm a diagnosed narcissist. I have narcissist personality disorder. And sometimes you'll notice, like when you cry in front of your narcissist, they'll go blank. They'll just stare at you. And sometimes they'll get mad. And the reason I found out behind this, because from personal experience, is because I never understood the emotions that caused my wife or whoever to cry. You know what I mean? But it would give like a sense of power to be the reason that person is crying, to be in control of that person's emotions to the point where they cry, they erupt with emotion, they erupt with anger sometimes. And then sometimes when you crying in front of a narcissist, they're like, why are you crying for? Crying is not going to solve anything. You're too emotional. Why you put your emotions to the side? Sometimes you might even notice that when you start crying and stuff like that, it might actually turn the narcissistic person on, man or woman. So in conclusion, narcissists can't regulate their own emotions, our own emotions. So we try to regulate yours, but we don't understand yours. That's why there's so many ups and downs when you're dealing with a narcissist. Stay safe and strong. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. I am self-aware, diagnosed narcissist Lee Hammock, and I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for narcissistic personality disorder, get more people into therapy, and validate the victims and survivors of said disorder. So, this series is dedicated to make my TikToks and my YouTube shorts longer. They are 60 seconds or less. You know this is going to be longer. So, the one you just watched was about crying in front of a narcissist. How to cry. Like, not how to cry, like how a narcissist could react to you crying in front of them. Because that's big. That's big right there, y'all. A lot of times when you're dealing with narcissists, narcissistic abuse and such, you get a narcissist that narcissists don't know how to act when you cry. Let's just point blank period. Like, narcissistic people, I say this all the time, we have limited emotional capacity. I say this all the time. Not very high. Like, we can feel emotions, y'all. Your normal run-of-the-mill narcissistic person on the spectrum like me, I can feel emotions. I can feel, I can touch, I can see. I'm not a robot. I'm not a narcissistic robot programmed to hurt empaths and hunt down codependent people. That's not me. That's not most narcissistic people. But you do get the sociopaths and the psychopaths that probably can't carry or have emotions like emotional connections like that. But your regular run-of-the-mill narcissist like myself, yes. So, but the emotional capacity is very limited, like I stated before. So we don't have a lot of room for other people's emotions. We're already dealing with the emotional turmoil that's going on in our heads. Maybe from not dealing with the trauma we went through as adolescents or as kids and things like that. Maybe not dealing with maybe growing up without having boundaries set on us, because that creates narcissists too. I think people think just trauma creates narcissists. Not having boundaries creates narcissistic people as well. Like I'm not saying that he's a narcissist, but the affluenza kid that got off from wrecking his car and unaliving 4 people in his car, but he got probation because he grew up rich and he doesn't know how to handle himself. That's a narcissistic person too. Might be a sociopath, But you see situations like that arise, and narcissistic people don't like. When you crying in front of a narcissist, I don't have enough emotional capacity to deal with your tears, so I'm disconnected. I need to disconnect from it. So a lot of times when you crying in front of a narcissist, they'll give you that blank stare. And I hear people say it all the time. Their eyes went black. I swear I saw his soul leave his body. I saw his eyes turn red with fire in them and something like that. I do my one-on-ones. I hear a lot of different stuff. But that's one of them. Like, they see the blank stare because they don't understand. They stare because some of them don't care. You know what I mean? And they stare because they can't feel what you feel like that. Like, I don't like you're crying. That's why a lot of times when you're crying, they'll get, like, narcissistic person will get angry with you. Will literally look you in the face and get mad as hell at you for some reason. You're like, why are you angry? Why are you upset with me? Why are you so mad with me? And things like that. And they'll get mad, they yell and scream at you. You're so sensitive. Why are you crying for? Crying isn't going to solve anything. Why are you so sensitive? Stop using your tears to manipulate me, because you'll get a lot of narcissistic people that claim that you are using your tears to manipulate them, to manipulate us. And you know why? Because we, as narcissistic people, use our tears to manipulate. So we think that you're doing the same thing that we do. It might open your mind right there. And I know people see these videos, and I can verbalize my thoughts very easily now. I can verbalize my thought process from back in the day, and people think this introspection. I'm just like looking back. I can just look back and kind of like, look back at my life like the ghost of narcissist past. Like, I go back into my life and I'm floating over myself, looking at myself, just like, ooh, you're going to live a terrible life if you manipulate this girl. Stop doing it. You know what I mean? You go back, boo. Charles Dickens. The ghost of narcissist past. Narcissist past, narcissist present, narcissist future. You know what I mean? So I went back in the past and looked at myself. But like I know how I feel. Even now when people cry. Like even now I have like very, very low empathy. Like people cry around me. I'm just like, I get frustrated when people are crying. I was like, oh my goodness. And they're like, why aren't you crying? I'm like, unless it affects me directly, I kind of can brush it off and just like disconnect from. I can disconnect emotionally from situations. So a lot of times when you are crying over something that happened to you, that narcissist in your life will emotionally disconnect from you because it doesn't directly affect them. Sometimes even if it does like directly affect us, we still won't cry. We still won't show any kind of emotional weakness because we think emotions. A lot of narcissists, we think showing emotions are weakness because that's how we were raised. Boys don't cry. Men don't cry, right? And things like that. A lot of narcissistic men. This is not, but we all know. Let me stop right here. We all know there are women narcissists as well, y'all. We know that. I know that. You know that. Thank you. So that's how it goes, though. So we get people in situations like that where, narcissists like will just emotionally disconnect from you. Like me personally, like I don't know what it is about this food line up the street. Like I've been at this food line up the street. I found out my aunt passed away and my grandma passed away while I was in this food line. Different times, y'all, different years. But both times my wife was with me. And I'll be on the phone. I'm like, hello? And they'll say your grandma died. I'm like, dang. All right, man. Appreciate it. And my wife was like, who's that? I'm like, it was my brother telling me, it was my mama telling me my grandma had died. And she gets red faced and she's crying. She's like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, I'm good. And she was in the 70s and she's in a better place. And I know I could just see it in her face. She's crying and I'm not. She's crying over my grandma that she, I think, never met. And I'm just like, we need chicken? Do we still need chicken? We are emotionally disconnected. We're emotionally stunted. Like narcissistic people, a lot of us go through arrested development where we skip stages of emotional growth and maturity because of trauma that we experience. Like we have to grow up too fast. Like you have kids, raising kids. Like if you have your 11-year-old son watching your 3-year-old son while you at work, that 11-year-old is a parent now. It's not that 11-year-old doesn't have the chance to be a kid. The 11-year-old doesn't have a chance to emotionally mature. They go from being an adolescent and just trying to skip rocks and play basketball to changing diapers and being a parent. You know what I mean? So we grow up fast, so we have to skip stages of emotional development because we don't get to emotionally develop sometimes. And that's a big thing in certain communities and things like that. You have to parent your brothers and sisters. Like, it happens. I tell people that all the time. So yeah, you see a narcissist sees you crying, they will just emotionally disconnect from you or get angry with you. And sometimes, here's the kicker. Like I said in the video, sometimes it'll turn them on and they'll want to do it with you. Because, there's nothing like that toxic emotional cheek clapping. I don't know, the cheeks seem more saturated when you're crying. You know what I mean? I know it's not disgusting. I don't know, it's just like your tears are the lubricant. Your tears are the oil that gets the narcissist engine running. They're like, ooh, tears. I know people are like, why does it turn them on? Because narcissists, like, we are not a lot of times, like, emotional regulation is also an issue with us. So it's when we see that we can control your emotions, when we can regulate your emotions, it gives us a power trip. And that power trip turns us on. Like, I'm in control of this person. And you just want to, and also, if you do that, like if you're crying, if you're in an emotional low where you're hurt and in pain, and you get your cheeks clapped, or they allow you to clap their cheeks or whatever, and then you do it while you're in that down, and you feel good after. You feel good doing it and after it for a little bit. But that's how you get trauma bonded. That's how you get connected. That's how you get disconnected from people, because the same person that hurt you probably made you cry, made you feel good. So then you tend to block out the fact that they are the reason you're crying. You tend to block out that they are the reason that you didn't feel good. But they also never like I said, the same person that sets you on fire has the fire extinguisher and puts you out. And you forgot how you even got lit up. You're like, why am I on fire? Thank you for putting me out. Forgetting like 5 minutes earlier, they one who doused you with gasoline and threw a match on you. So yeah, Narcissistic people, emotions are a tough thing for us, especially with tears. We see tears, like I said before. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all for tuning into another episode. I have some one-on-ones here I got to knock out today. Christmas is coming up. Y'all know how narcissists are on Christmas. Anyways, y'all, be blessed. Have a great day. Mental Illness is out. Peace.